13,360 pounds, big, beautiful, quad slide luxury couples rig here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, North Point 381. This one is a little bit different take on the upstairs master suite. You see a lot of things like the 3810 Master Suite Montana, the 384 open range, the Pinnacle version of it, and the North Point is one that said, okay, I like the idea of having that monster bathroom for couples camping, but I don't want a sofa across the front wall. I want to keep all that huge closet storage. That's what this one is. Quick view with the slides closed. You've got pretty limited access to the living area. That's normal of a triple slide, well, dual opposing slide living room. But you can get to, I don't know, the majority of the refrigerator. So maybe you can kind of sneak your arm around in there to get to things. Up here, easy access to the bedroom and bathroom with slide closed. So, I don't know, pretty normal for a big fifth wheel this size in this regard, I suppose. The moment you step inside, like a North Point or a Pinnacle, one of these big luxury Jayco fifth wheels, you instantly go, ooh, I'm in for a treat. This is not industry standard, and it is most certainly not. They've done a lot of little details here that I think can be considered very large factors. It all depends on what you're looking for, though. Now, we've got a lot to cover, so I don't want to gush too hard. I just want to get rolling. You're going to find LED accent lighting all over the place. Like above that very cool little, almost looks like an artist paint palette, ceiling kitchen light fixture there. Residential ceiling fan to kind of push a bunch of that air around to give you some excellent airflow. Really helps overcome the potential deficiency of frameless windows on the side walls so that there's really no downside to this coach. The whisper ducted air here in the living area knocks that noise down, makes it so you don't have to crank the TV up to 11 just to hear the thing, or whatever number. Now, if you get in this thing, and then you jump, like if you only get in one fifth wheel, if you only get in a North Point, I don't think you're going to appreciate it. To honestly appreciate a North Point, I actually feel you need to walk into some other things, because you don't key into some of the fine details. And one of those is the fact that this has one of the tallest living rooms, well, really the tallest ceilings, because the living room, the bedroom, the bathroom, everything in this is taller than the other fifth wheels in this category. So like, you know, an open range, a 3X, a Montana, they're beautiful, but they're not as tall in the living area here. Now, some people might argue that's nonsense space, but at the same time, it feels bigger. It's more open for my full-time living people. You're going to want that extra sense of space plus bigger storage here. Now, all of our windows, for privacy's sake, you're going to enjoy just hard blackout shades. So like if you've got a migraine or something like that, it is the perfect little place to just, you know, plop down, kick down. Something Jayco does with their entertainment centers that I really love here is that the TV can be hidden away. So if you want the extra windows and the cross breeze, all you do is just flip one little lever and these gas struts lift the TV right up, and then you just simply push it down and it auto locks in place when you're done with it. We do have a Trifold hide-to-bed sleeper sofa back here. And what's also neat, assuming you have 110 power hooked up, the nearby theater seat right here can still open and lie back for an additional sleeping space. And if you notice, that is an extra large hide-to-bed. So you could probably easily fit 2 adults there, maybe 3 grandkids, maybe a 4th grandkid over here. So how many people you can sleep kind of depends on where you're at and what you're doing with it. Now, this cool little floating storage ottoman right here, the top flips off, but it's kind of like a nice little, either you can put your feet on it, it's a little floating seat. It's also a perfect little like toy chest for grandkids or things like that. There's a lot of different purposes you can get out of it. Now, this over here is a 110 powered, meaning you need shore power or generator power, theater recliner, but it does have heat, massage, like I said, power recline. But notice it's got a larger center console here. This is a bigger theater seat than you sometimes see in the business. This has 6.5 foot tall walk-in slides here on the main deck, which is part of the reason we have that big, open, expansive feel to it. You'll also notice that it has a pretty much like a matching height entry door. Take a look at the entry door in relation to the slide height, and you can see that this is a very tall person friendly entry door, and it's also wider. Now, your dining table over here, this is a couple's coach first. It has a pair of like all the time chairs, and you've got more than enough space for couples dining, but then you've got a pair of folding chairs that you can bring out. They can hide in the front closet, under the bed, in the pass-through, wherever you want them. The table does easy lift, so you can use it as something like a desk dinette, if you will, and you've obviously got that extra extension leaf there when you need more space and storage. Now, the kitchen here is just beautiful. And it's got, again, that what they really focused on here and what they nailed is the open, flowing, comfortable feel. Like that big, full-time living feel. I want every ounce of space I can get out of this thing. They've really accomplished that, but not at the expense of storage. The storage in this kitchen borderlines on obscene. It's incredible. You start opening stuff up and it just never quits. So like almost anything in this class, you're going to have solid surface counters. I'm not going to waste time talking about things that everything has, but just look at the massive amount of drawer capacity that we have here. And then because they didn't block this off right here with a pantry within the slide out, they were able to increase your drawer space and your prep space. But you still have that overhead storage, but it's not in your face and it's not wasting potential countertop area. The sealed burner stovetop here, this is very residential in that you don't have to like peel the whole thing apart to try to clean it. And I like these newer Furrion ovens with the window on the front so you can see what you're doing. But notice even a drawer below the oven, they didn't waste anything here. Big 18 cubic foot gas and electric RV refrigerator. And that is our personal preference on something like this. I know that there are some benefits to the residential fridge, but the service records on the gas electrics are just far better. And it's being a very service-oriented dealership, that's something that we focus on. You know, and it gives you all that huge capacity. And if you are traveling or you're off the grid, flip it over to gas mode and you're good to go. You don't necessarily have to have solar or a generator to operate it. But even as we go over here, before we get to this cabinet area, I do want to point out the rain sensor Maxxair wall fan with the ceiling fan with wall controller up there. So if you do leave or it starts to drizzle, it'll go ahead and close itself for you. You've got little indirect LED accent lights in this little pocket, and you notice how like you've got a big, almost floor-to-ceiling coat hat closet right when you walk in the door, and everything looks clean with nice hidden hinge cabinets. Now, this closet, they've done a couple things right here. Like you can see that this side, you've got even more drawer space within this ridiculously sized pantry. But if I close this up so we can slide the doors, you see that we've got full floor-to-ceiling, well, I guess not totally floor-to-ceiling, but you get the idea. Full additional pantry access in here. And one last little thing to finish this off. For easy cleaning, we do have a centralized vacuum system here with what I call the electric dustpan. If you're just sweeping off this carpetless area of the floor, you can just kick that up with your toe, sweep everything in there. And you know how a lot of times when you guys are sweeping, there's that little bit of stuff that you can't quite get in the dustpan, and a lot of folks just sort of sweep and redistribute it. You're not going to have that here. And with all the drawers and cabinets open, the one thing we really couldn't get a good look at is the island. And this is a good island. So first of all, I love the fact that the top of it's asymmetrical. They didn't bury the sink dead in the middle of this thing. And what that creates for us, guys, is usable, functional prep space right here. Instead of having these two little sort of wing out shelf type areas, you've got a good, like, full serving station. Now, the other thing here, it's pure storage. And case in point, they don't just give you the idea that you could include a wastebasket there. They actually include one for you. And then you see you've got additional drawer space in here with easy reach outlets throughout. Now, on our way upstairs, quick little point out, the sort of like control center, the heart of the camper. I like that all these buttons and switches and everything are hidden away from the kiddos. But we've also got a one control system right here. Now, what's kind of cool is anything you can do on this, you can do off your phone with the One Control app. Now, where that's really neat is the leveling system. You can operate the leveling system of this RV remotely. So if you're backing up to the coach and you need to raise or lower it or whatever, you can do that from your phone, from the driver's seat. You don't have to have that person under the gooseneck of the fifth wheel going, yep, up, down, back, no, wait, back, wait, no. I mean, that's annoying, right? It's annoying listening to me do it. It's annoying doing it, let alone anything else. Okay, so here is where they deviated from what I would generally call the big master suite fifth wheels that are out there right now. Like I said, Jayco makes some, Montana makes some, Open Range makes some. It's become a really neat thing. And the commonality here is that you've got some sort of slide in the bathroom with a direct entry door here. But where it varies is really in the bedroom. We'll get to that in just a second. So what I love here, the DL in the DLQS stands for dual lavatory, aka double sink. And this is awesome. awesome for couples, like especially full-timers. I remember when my parents, my mother and Mr. Haylett got together, they didn't do well in the mornings because my mom, like me, is not a morning person. I come by it honestly. Mr. Haylett, however, he bops out of bed. He's like, hey, how you doing? And he's like poking you, and you just want to stab him with a hot curling iron when people do that, you know? You're not ready for that yet. So having this double lavatory system right here is awesome. Also, in the kitchen, we got those beautiful solid surface counters. But pretty much everywhere else, what you're going to find is thermofoil. It's a sealed edge, waterproof with a pressed membrane, and you see that we do have stainless sinks below. Now, oh, that shower though, that big monster shower. All fiberglass, molded, one-piece, self-reinforced. Grown adults can jump up and down and stomp in that thing. With the extra tall nature of the North Point, plus the skylight, and the skylight's located basically where your head's going to be, across from the shower head, you're good to go. Now, you've got awesome linen and storage space in this one, so it doesn't just stop here. It starts here, because as we turn around, and we have plenty of room to turn around, because this thing has a massive amount of floor space, you've got this huge additional closet right here. And one of the other things we have above us is a Maxxair fan. And listen to this. This thing is not kidding. That thing up there is the business. Now, we have sliding privacy doors for these areas, but what you're going to see are these very easy to miss, unassuming magnet latches to kind of hold these things secure. And you'll find that repeated up here in that sliding bedroom privacy door. So people don't walk into the bathroom, they're not staring at you, you know, in the bed, as it were. Coming up front here, this has a very Zen-like appearance to it, with that slotted sort of mirrored wardrobe door. And both of them have that. I just left one open so that you could see all the storage up front. This is beautiful. This is, I mean, tip to tail, inside and out, upside down and inside out. This is the best North Point Jayco has ever made. And I don't mean just this floor plan. I mean this generation. They finally have the identity of this thing. It finally has its place, its purpose. And I'm all about it. I think they've nailed it finally. But here we got our 70 by 80 king bed, and what I like is this is a queen standard. We upgraded this to the king, so understand the one in stock could be a little different. I'll be shocked if we ever have a North Point in stock without a king bed, though. You're going to have to probably order it that way, but that's, I think, normal for most dealerships. You will find the second air conditioner up here. We'll talk more about that when we go on the roof. But something that you can't necessarily just discern from a video like this is the interior height. If you start measuring bedroom heights in your Jayco fifth wheels, you're going to find that just like the living room, they're taller. This is like the tallest bedroom I've ever really found in a fifth wheel. They make this thing absolutely huge. Now, this is one of the reasons that your Jayco fifth wheels tend to be a little heavier, a little more money. But if you're taller than the average bear, like me, like I can stand in an open range 3X, I can stand in a Montana, but I can jump in a Jayco. Jump for Jayco. There's a new slogan for you. There's Nerdism number 37. Jump for Jayco. Now, the bedroom storage here is fantastic. It starts under the bed, and that's an area that some brands miss. Not every fifth wheel with a bed slide has full storage below. Naturally, we have stackable washer dryer prep, but look at the depth and all the additional space and storage, including a double hanging bar in the closet up front on the Jayco fifth wheels. Again, they've just done more, but that's one of the reasons, again, these guys are not the least expensive. They're not the lightest weight. Bedroom TV will be included. We often have those shipped loose here at Haylett RV because we store them so that you're the first person to touch them, and it keeps them from walking down the highway. As we look below here, what I do want to point out is on the side of the, like you've seen a dresser, you've seen 100 dressers, but when you start looking over here, you see that you've got all kinds of switches and phone chargers and all sorts of things to keep you up and running. And one of those switches actually corresponds to like the little LED evening night lighting. Like you see, you got the little lower night light runner there, but you've also got one in here. And basically, it's one switch will activate lower navigation night lights throughout the RV to make getting through this thing simple, easy, safe, effective, whatever positive word you want to apply to it. Oh yeah, and LED lighting above the super slides there, just to help kind of spark this thing up, brighten it up, and just, I don't know, really put some icing on this big old birthday cake. Now, outside sitting right here, this is actually easily mistaken for the 377 mid-bunk North Point because they share a lot of features on this side, and they're both pretty darn big. But obviously, this is not that middle bunkhouse bonus room model, although that thing's cool in its own right. But what I mean by that is they both have this huge pass-through and this little outside kitchenette utility station right here. This is something that you can't get in a traditional upper deck fifth wheel. Because this does have that expanded bathroom, it stretched the upper deck, and that created extra space outside to do something with. And I love what they did with it, because trying to find some form of like outside kitchenette or even just utility entertainment station in a couples coach is really difficult without hard sacrificing something like in the living room. This one, because you have the big upper deck, comes at no sacrifice, really. Now, you do have a little cold water sprayer port over here. It comes with one of those little coil hoses that you can use the various sort of like residential fittings on the end of, like a residential hose sprayer, those little squeezy type handle things. You know what I mean. I'm spent too much time talking about this. A little bit bigger outside fridge. Galvanized rolled steel countertops, meaning metal with a treatment, so they're not going to rust and they're waterproof. Extra little things like there is a little LED nightlight out here, but it's going to be enough to help you kind of see in here, but not enough to really attract bugs. And that beautiful Capital grill that this thing burns hotter than heck, and what I like about it is it's an actual grill. You can grill on it, not a 2-burner stovetop outside. Huge drop frame pass-through. Well, to give you an idea, here, that big TV lift, this is a 50-inch LED TV in the box and the 32-inch bedroom TV stacked up on each other, and it looks pathetically small in this monster storage compartment in here. Now, easy access to our central vac. If you do roof mount solar, it is pre-prepped to have a nice little controller right there, but there's a lot of things in a Jayco that are often unappreciated, and that's why I put these videos together, to show you some extra details. So you can see the all-aluminum structure of this upper deck. The upper deck is actually assembled in one piece and then attached to the framework of the RV effectively, which is almost how a lot of like diesel pushery stuff is made, like the roof, and this is kind of built that way too. But I want to notice how you can see not just the reflective foil stuff, but this is like the double-sided bubble wrap, the tin foil bubble wrap. This has a greater capacity to reflect and prevent heat loss from your main cabin or down here than even the single layer, what kind of looks like hot dog paper stuff. Hot dog paper stuff is fine. I know the name sounds terrible, but it's fine. This is better. There's good and there's better, and that's what we're looking at here, guys. This is the one that goes all the way. You do have an enclosed forced air heating cabin. You can see you've got a heat plenum here dedicated just to drop some hot air down in this area, so that you've got an enclosed heated underbelly, you've got a separate pocket here, then you've got a hard thermal barrier before you go into your bedroom and bathroom deck, and then you've got a separate encapsulated heating compartment up in your living area. That is how Jaycos have among the very best, like, hot-cold testing data, because they have compartmentalized heating and cooling, and that's not normal RV business stuff. First of all, the main primary awning on this is plenty, but at this point, guys, you're not buying this because it's good enough. You're buying a Jayco because it does more. That's why we like to put the second awning on these. Now, these are available generator prep. That's probably something my clients out west, down south, might appreciate a little more. Here in the Midwest, we just don't see as much of a call for it. We do like to put that on our pinnacles, though. So, I mean, whatever you need, guys, remember, this is just an example of a North Point. Doesn't mean it's the North Point that we have here. Now, it is kind of cool, though. If you look, they recently, very recently, actually, redesigned this front compartment up here. So, not only do we have more storage now, but we've also got more room for more batteries if you are going to go boondocking. Let's talk about their 5-star handling package. It starts up here, and this is one of the very few components of it you can easily see walking around, and that's the MORryde shock dampening pin box. If I had to give a nod between the MORryde and the Trail Air Equiflex pin box, I would give the nod here. I think it is a little more expensive, so I think it's an equivalent value. But what this does, the others don't. The other ones will help shock dampen front to back, but this shock dampens side to side also, and that cuts out that herky-jerkiness, jumping and jolting when you're traveling. We've got 6-point auto leveling with programmable hitch height memory, and again, remember that using the One Control system, you can control your leveling on this right from your phone. Without One Control, that's not possible. Notice a difference here too. Have you ever gone to an RV store and the guy said, I want to show you something I'm really excited about. I want to show you where we, from the manufacturing level, broke and pre-cracked the fiberglass under fifth wheel. Aren't you really excited about that? And you're going to be like, well, of course not, you idiot. But that's my point. Jayco doesn't do that. And this is one of the areas where they spend more money on construction. They are built to be stronger for a little bit longer. This has a box tube steel upper deck frame with sidewall flanges that help support this upper deck sidewall, just like you have outriggers down here below. And that's why you don't see pre-cracked fiberglass or just stress cracked fiberglass on Jaycos. You don't see that. Now, they didn't always do that, but they've been doing it for a while now, and it works. Fully enclosed, heated, protected docking center. We'll talk more about solar on the roof. You do have a simple side mount solar over here. You know, the other thing I like is the instructions on how to operate this thing. It's very simple, picture color coded. My 7-year-old daughter can operate this thing. You know what I like about that? What they didn't do was put a sticker on the underside of this textured door where the heat is going to cause that sticker just to melt and peel off. And then you're going to look at this and go, oh crap, Martha, now what? Not a problem. You don't have that problem here. SantaCon. This is something a lot of people don't know about. Mostly because you don't tend to find it outside Jayco. Long story short, this RV effectively has like a kitchen garbage disposal for your black tank system. I think that's the best way I can describe it to someone who has no idea what this is. And let's see here. Did I bring? No, I didn't bring the right key. Oh, no, I did bring the right keys. Hold on. I should have had this thing open. And I just dropped my keys in the mud. Awesome. Awesome. That's the best. Now I got them flipped the wrong way. I'm just really striking out on the whole SantaCon thing. Okay, so for all that, we get this thing open, and all you're really seeing right now is this big coil of hoses. If I look around in here, there you go. So you've got your sewer hose, and everything is all built in. The little thing that you put down in like the black tote tank or in the sewer dump or the on-site sewer, whatever you got, it's all here. This is a power macerator and exhaust. It will chew up any solid waste material, and it will exhaust all of that, and faster. You will empty your holding tanks faster here, and there is a manual bypass for that. Now, if you're looking at a North Point that we have here, and you don't see SantaCon, the good news is it's pre-prepped for SantaCon. Spent way too much time talking about that. Holy cow, I can't believe you're still with me. All LED tail and marker lights, and what's better, this has the new Jayco smart lighting system that stands for signals, markers, and reverse travel. In English, what this means, guys, is for years and years and years, and outside of Jayco, it's still the case. If you turn on your left turn blinker, that light's going to blink. I guess it's enough. But on a Jayco, now, they debuted this last year in Eagle, and then they've applied it to basically the rest of the family now. Side marker lights, additional front and rear upper clearance lights will also blink along with that turn signal to give other drivers on the road the best, clearest understanding of your intentions for enhanced safety. It's just funny that more RVs don't do that. But something I really learned about Jayco in the motorized segment, they are very safety focused. Now, this thing looks kind of goofy because it's really freaking tall. Remember, this is taller in the living room, taller in the bedroom, and you can see it here. They don't taper the roof as much. Now, you hear a lot about 3-year warranties in the RV business. Those are structural, and I'm not saying they're bad. There's benefits to them, for sure. But in terms of an RV warranty, there's a 1 or 2 year warranty. But if you want to add a bike rack or something to an RV, like, we're all set here to do that with this 2-inch receiver hitch on the back. But if you want to add a bike rack to an RV that doesn't have something like that receiver hitch, you're going to void that precious 3-year structural warranty. It's like some of them, not all of them, like the Montanas don't do that, but some of them are built hoping you fail. So they're off the hook. And that's the kind of different detail stuff you got to look for. Now, I mentioned that the roof on this is built like a diesel pusher. The roof is all assembled at ground level, and then it's actually hoisted into place in one piece and then reattached. And that's, again, exactly how diesel pushers are put together. Now, the MORryde 0G steps here. So there's the MORryde steps, like stable steps, the MORryde steps. Then this is the 0G system. And you need to have the door open, which is also kind of a nice point to be able to talk about the fact that we've got that wider, taller door. But anyway. So what's nice about these, sometimes people are afraid, oh, it's going to fall on me. It's going to hit my head. It's going to crush my grandkid. No, it ain't. No, it's not. You know what it does, though? It creates more space underneath the RV to do things. So it allows them to put better placement on the center of the 6-point stabilization system to give you better stabilizing. And as long as we're down here, guys, I can go ahead and hide under these MORryde steps because they ain't going to fall on me. Look at these big... well, the name is appropriate. It's called the Goodyear Beast tire. They're like the biggest, baddest tires I've ever seen in the towable RV industry. This is a true best-in-class, maybe best-in-industry sort of thing. I don't know of any other mainstream manufacturer doing anything like this. You cannot just buy these tires and put them on a previous generation RV. You can't. They're so big, they literally had to redesign the running gear on the North Points and the Pinnacles and some of the toy haulers to accommodate these. So why am I talking about them? Well, they are rated for up to 87 miles an hour, which is an industry best thing, and you can actually manage them at 80 psi. You don't have to go to like a specialty industrial truck tire store to get the tires inflated on this. They don't have to go to like 120 psi or anything like that. They've also got the highest sidewall integrity, which is going to throw some people off because not everybody understands tires. So when you look at tires, you see a lot of like G-rated tires. Well, you might look, and I don't remember these are E or Fs or whatever, but you're like, oh, really? They put that inferior tire on there? No. No, this is a much higher grade tire with greater sidewall capacity and integrity than most common trailer G-rated tires. They went bananas on this. And also, they also have a MORryde compression rubber equalizing suspension system to help soak those shocks and jolts. So we've got better tires, better suspension, better pin box, all kinds of stuff on this thing to help you have a smoother, better ride going down the road. But we're not done. Let's go take a peek at the roof. Because on a Jayco, there's actually fun things to talk about up there. Apparently at the shipping company, this one was parked next to a tree or something with falling particulate. But neither here nor there, because we clean our RVs at no additional charge. Every new RV here at Haylett RV gets a full cleaning before it leaves. So a couple things I want to point out up here. Remember, the one we're looking at could be a little different from the one in stock. Like you can see, we've added the second bedroom AC. But I keep talking about how North Points are taller. That's why they have a low profile AC back here. And you've actually got dual 15,000s to give you maximum cooling power. That's one of those things you can see a lot of RVs have second AC in the bedroom. You're like, oh sweet, and don't get me wrong, guys, frankly, it's probably enough. But there is a difference between a 13.5 and a 15,000 BTU air conditioner up in that bedroom. It does make a difference. One other thing I really wanted to point out up here, actually a couple things now that I'm up here and looking. Roof mount solar prep. This is something that not a lot of places talk about, and I'm willing to bet even fewer places show you. I'm not sure how many places are actually going to climb up on the roof like I've done here to show you that. But that's just the extra things we do. So you're not relegated to only a side mount solar. Now another thing they have here is this very interesting little Aerofoil exhaust cap for the black tank. All RV black tanks have, I guess you could call it a chimney, a little gas exhaust tube, so that, you know, gases during the natural organic breakdown process that's taking place within the black tank, they don't build up and cause a pressure expansion, and they don't backflow into your RV. So here's kind of the cool thing. Basically, the way this is designed, it's kind of the same concept as like an airplane wing, but long story short, it just actively pulls more air through. Now, the marketing guys say this thing works so well, you shouldn't even have to treat your black tank. I don't know that I'm that brave. I just know that we haven't had a single person complain about one of these, so obviously it's doing its job well. But that's the whole thing with Jaycos. A lot of the Jaycos do their job well. But there's a lot of good RVs out there. So whether it's this one, that one, the other one, any of these, we only carry just about everything here at Haylett RV, and we only do everything except for hidden dealer fees. Those we don't do. So if you're looking for simple, easy, you know, effective hitching pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, well then congratulations, you found us here at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.